These are the images of the woman federal prosecutors say planned to detonate a bomb at the New York State Capitol, wearing all black clothing covering her face. The government says 35-year-old Jessica Bowie was surveilling the building in July here and later seen at a Home Depot in early August, buying materials including a large bin of nails for an explosive device that undercover agents pretended to assemble for her before meeting with Bowie and arresting the suspect for supporting terrorism.
Make no mistake about it, Miss Bowie's alleged plot was serious.
According to a charging document, Bowie converted to Islam 5 years ago using the name Aisha Saif, but started making threatening anti-American posts on social media in recent months, including "Praise be to Allah" for September 11th.
Miss Bowie swore her allegiance to ISIS through multiple audio recordings.
That prompted undercover FBI agents to exchange messages with Bowie, who they say planned to use a delivery DoorDash bag to transport the explosive device, telling them in writing, "I want to destroy as much of the building as possible and kill the senators while they're meeting." Bowie has not yet entered a plea, but according to the document, told authorities she knew about the possible terrorism charges. "I already Googled it before. I know I'm going to jail." Sam Brock, NBC News.
In her own words, as alleged in the criminal complaint, she said, quote, "I want to destroy as much of the building as possible and kill the senators while they are meeting. I want them to lose a lot of important documents as well." She continued, as referenced in the complaint, quote, "I don't want to take this kind of risk and have it kill, 2 or 3 people? What good is that?" The complaint alleges that she arranged to have an explosive device made out to carry this attack, even purchasing several of the required materials herself. She conducted surveillance at the Capitol at least 5 times, taking dozens of photos. She requested a gun she intended to use on any law enforcement officer who tried to stop her. Make no mistake about it, Miss Bowie's alleged plot was serious. It was dangerous, and thanks to the partnerships on the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, it was foiled.
Shalom. Call halayim la Yahweh ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Waha. Ruach Kwadash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers, the men of great millstone. To you I say shalom. Salutations to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Amraya. And we have an example of sedition, all right? This lady plotting against the government, looking to make bombs or whatever it was that she was involved in, getting set up by the government is just an example of more of the same behavior that you're going to see in the very near future, all right? Because this is all prophecy speaking loud and clear, all right? And whether it's staged or not, it doesn't matter, all right? You're going to see more of this type of activity increase because we're in the beginning of sorrows. We're in the last seconds of the last days. And yes, you're going to see sedition, uprisings against the government, people waging war against the government, all right? This is not your fight, Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians for the most part, as well as your confusion of faces, all right? Yahweh Shai said if this were his kingdom, his servants would fight. He hasn't taken over yet, so you don't need to be taking up arms against the government or any of that, all right? And we'll get into that a little bit later, all right? People who engage in that activity are not going to inherit the kingdom. But for now, let's get to the subject matter of the video, all right? This is 2 Ezra 15, and I'll begin at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world," and woe means destruction. "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh." And the modern day sword is the gun and all manner of weapons we have come up with through technology over the last decades, okay? It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands," right? You're going to see class wars, race wars, civil war, world war, We are in that time now. Verse 16, for there shall be seditions among men, right? Uprising against the government and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? And this lady was hell-bent on killing some politicians, man. Your modern day princes, all right? And eventually they'll go at the kings as well, the rulers, the presidents, etc. All right, you saw that movie Civil War, you know what time it is. Verse 16 again, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? All right. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? Because we're coming into the time of martial law, all right? Lockdowns, checkpoints, and curfews, all right? Restrictions like you've never seen, or only those in certain situations like after Katrina, all right? So this is a very harsh time that we're coming into. We're quite literally going into Jacob's trouble. You're already seeing signs of it, and you got idiots out here talking about, I thought y'all were talking about Jacob's trouble. You blind bat, you can't see with your eyes? I digress, all right? Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? And my last video deals with food shortage, all right? Great tribulation because of job loss, all right? All the conditions are set for these prophecies right here to be cracking off. And you people out here still playing games, all right? This is not a laughing matter. The Lord put these words here for our learning. Everything written aforetime is written for our learning, all right? And you're still out here arguing with idiots about what's in the book that they never study. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, because the sword and the destruction draws near. And if you participate in these uprisings against the government, if you're foolish enough to take up arms, listen to the propaganda, and put yourself in a position where the Lord now has to punish you for being disobedient, then go ahead, man. But nothing good is going to come from sedition. All right. This is Galatians chapter 5, and we'll end out here. Like I said, this video don't have to be too long. All right. I'll begin at verse 19, Galatians 5 and 19, and listen closely. It says, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations. By the way, if you're going to follow my channel, you're going to have to study. My advice is get in the blue letter and look up every last one of these words and the definitions for them in the Blue Letter Bible. And you can get that free online. All right. Verse 20 again. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Right. All right. If you participate in any of this behavior, you're not going into the kingdom. You're not born again. You're not a new creature in Hamashiach. All right. And you need to study this because this is a do not do list. All right. And be doers of the word, not just hearers only. So you got to follow instructions. Verse 22, and I'll read a couple more. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts, right? You have to crucify the flesh. You have to put to death that old man daily, and don't be participating in any of this wicked behavior, okay? Especially not uprisings against Esau's government. There's nothing about this shitty-ass kingdom worth you going to bat over, all right? Stay out of it, Jake. Shalom.